Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nowley. I'm making this short video to explain to you the file that I just uploaded for your current grade after the most recent exam. So if you look at this file, all of the students are identified by their SMC ID number, specifically the last four digits of their SMC ID number. And the current grade that you have in the class is calculated based on all the assignments that are shown here. So for this particular one, I'm showing four of the assignments that have been graded and returned to you. So those are the basis of this grade right here. There might be other assignments like video assignments or extra credits that you've completed that I haven't inputted in this current grade right now. Those will be inputted at the end of the semester right before the final exam. Okay, now let me talk a little bit about the grade and how it's shown right here. So this is your percentage for the grade, and based on that percentage and the way the grade has been assigned in the syllabus, that student currently earns a C in the class. And the last three columns here actually explains what that student will need to do to get an A or B or a C in the class starting from now. So these are the grades that the students would need to maintain in the future, not including the grades that you've already earned. So for example, for this student, in order for him or her to get an A, he or she will need to maintain a 93% average on all the assignments from now on. The easiest way to interpret this would be that if from now on this person gets 93 or better on every assignment, and I mean exam, quizzes, lab reports, pre-lab quizzes, final exam, and everything else that have not been done yet, then he or she will get an A. Otherwise, it would then have to be calculated based on the weight of each of those assignments. Let me specifically talk about this exam, okay? The average of this exam is 66, and for exam 1 and Chem 11, this is actually quite typical. I've done this class for 8 years now, and this average is very typical for the first exam. Here's the distribution of grades for all the students in the class right now. And I want to make comments about this grade depending on where you're at, okay? So if you're in the 70 or higher range at this point, you're doing fine in the class. Obviously, if you're closer to 70, then you're not doing as well as the people who are closer to 100. If you're closer to 70, I would recommend that you add 2 to 3 hours a week of studying of chemistry, or attend office hours or attend SI session, and that should help you to catch up and go higher in your grade. If you're between the 50 to 70, which as you can see is about a third of the class right now, about half of you are in danger of failing this class by the end of the semester. I say this not to discourage you, but this is based on what I've observed in the data for the past 8 years that I've been teaching this class. So the students who will succeed are the ones who are going to make drastic changes at this point. And what I mean by that specifically is you should add 10 or more hours a week to your chemistry studying if you want to be the ones who are passing this class at the end of the semester. If you're going to keep your studying habit, if you're in the 50 to 70 range, my prediction is you're going to fail this class or drop it sometime before the semester ends. Okay, now the last group are the people who are 50 or below, which is at this point about, I'd say, a quarter of the class. For these students, I would recommend that you drop the class right now. Based on, again, 8 years of data that I'm looking at, none of students who started at this range end up passing the class. They all either fail by the end of the semester, or they drop the class by the second exam, by the third exam, by the lab final. They drop the class sometime before the semester ends. Okay, so again, let me just repeat those recommendations. Students who are in this group are doing fine. You might need to add 1 to 2 hours or 3 hours a week to your studying habit. Student in this group, I'd say you're sort of in the urgent care situation, you're going to need to add a good 10 hours or more to your studying habit. And then students who are in this region, at this point, I would recommend just dropping the class and trying it in another semester. Now, if you decide to drop, again, I want to emphasize that I'm not saying that you cannot do chemistry. You can do chemistry. However, doing chemistry and passing a class like this requires a commitment in time and studying that is very different than other classes, as I mentioned to you on the first day of class. So if somehow in this semester you're not able to do that, maybe because you're working full-time or you have responsibilities that you can't get out of or you have too many classes, then I would recommend dropping the class. Okay.